Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel Medical Biochemistry by Dr. Vasan Gosai. Today we will discuss about cardiac biomarkers. Now, what is cardiac biomarkers? So, cardiac biomarker is defined as the clinical laboratory test useful for detecting the acute myocardial infarction or minor myocardial injury. Now, in cardiac biomarker, they are used to assess the myocardial injury. Now, most are myocardial proteins, and they are differ in their location within the myocytes, their release kinetics after the damage, their clearance from the circulation, and some others are the molecules that are thought to have the potential as the biomarkers. Now, the cardiac biomarkers have some particular characteristics, like they have the high cardiac specificity, their pharmacokinetics means their release and their clearance from the body, then the early diagnosis, then the markers should play a design role in the treatment and management of the clinical subject. अब सबसे पहले हम देखेंगे क्रिएटिन काइनेज. सो क्रिएटिन काइनेज is an enzyme expressed in the number of the tissues, and its function is it's catalyze the conversion of the creatine to phosphocreatine, degrading the ATP to ADP. Now, in CK enzymes, they have two subunits. One is B, it is brain type, and other is the M, means muscle type, and making the three different isoenzymes. One is CKMM, second is CKBP, and third one is the CKMB. Now, CKBP occurs mainly in tissue, rarely of any significance in the bloodstream. Then CKMM, which is specifically is expressed in a skeletal muscle, and the skeletal muscles also release the CKMB 1%. It's very low levels. Then myocardium has the CKMM at 70% and CKMB at 30%. Now, here the CKMB, it has a high specificity for the cardiac tissue, and it begins to rise within 4 to 6 hours after the onset of the myocardial infarctions. It recedes at its peak level at about 12 hours and then returns to its baseline at 24 to 36 hours, and it can be used to indicate the early reinfarctions if level normalize and then increases again. So, it is useful to detect the early reinfarctions. Then the drawbacks of the CKMB. So, false positive CKMB elevation can be seen in significant skeletal muscle injury. Then CKMB fraction is determined to be expressed during the process of the muscle regeneration and cardiac injury for reason other than the myocardial infarctions like defibrillations, blunt chest trauma, and cocaine abuse. So, it is not so much specific for the acute myocardial infarctions. Then other cardiac biomarker is the myoglobin, the small size heme protein found in all the tissues and mainly assists in the oxygen transport, the myoglobin. Myoglobin is released from the all damaged tissue, and its increases often occur more rapidly than troponin I and CK. Its release from the damaged tissue within 1 hour, and its normal level is 17.4 to 105.7 nanogram per ml. Now, its kinetics, its earliest rise is within 1 to 3 hours after myocardial infarction, it reaches its peak level within 6 to 9 hours and return to its normal level within 12 hours. Now, the conditions which are responsible for the myoglobin level increases. First one is the acute myocardial infarctions, then other issues like skeletal muscle damage, then muscular dystrophy, inflammatory myopathies, then other conditions like renal failures, severe uremia, shock and trauma. So it has poor specificity. Its clinical usefulness in rapid monitor of success of the thrombolytic therapy, and it is best negative predictor of the MI. And due to its poor specificity, myoglobin level do not always predict the myocardial injury and not utilized for the acute myocardial infarction assessment because of its very rapid metabolism. Then other cardiac biomarker is the cardiac troponins. Here the troponin is a complex of the three regulatory proteins that is integral to non-smooth muscle contraction in skeletal as well as the cardiac muscle. Troponin is attached to the tropomyosin sitting in groove between actin filament in muscle tissues. Here the troponin has these three subunits. One is the troponin C, troponin T and troponin I. Troponin C has the calcium binding ability and has no diagnostic values, but troponin T binds the tropomyosin complex, and troponin I is an inhibitory proteins. Here we will see about troponin T and I. Troponin I, here the troponin I is a cardiac muscle protein with a molecular weight of 24 kilodaltons, and this troponin I has an additional amino acid residue on its amino terminal that are not exist on the skeletal form, and its half-life is 2 to 4 hours, and its serum increases within 2 to 8 hours of the myocardial infarctions. Then troponin T is present in the fetal skeletal muscle, and in healthy adult skeletal muscle troponin T is absent. The gene of troponin T can be re-expressed in skeletal muscle disease, and the biological half-life and early serum increase is same as troponin I. Now troponin levels, it is less is cytosol, less than 5% in the cytosol, and troponin level begins to rise 2 to 3 hours after the onset of the MI, and its elevation of troponin I and troponin T can persist for up to 10 days. So it is specific, and its concentration is remains for more than 10 days. So it is so important for detecting the myocardial infarction. We can compare it with CKMB. CKMB returns to baseline by 48 hours. So here the troponins level, troponin is more important than the CKMB. Then the conditions commonly associated with the cardiac troponin elevation. First one is the arrhythmia, then congestive heart failure, coronary artery disease, coronary vasospasm, critically ill patient, hypertension and myocarditis. Then other biomarker is the ischemia modified albumin, IMA. Here a novel marker of the ischemia is produced when the circulating serum albumin contacts ischemic heart tissues, and due to the structural change in the amino terminal end of the albumin, and here the IMA can be measured by the albumin cobalt binding assay, that is based on the IMA's inability to bind to the cobalt, and here the IMA levels rise within 6 hours of the MI and remains elevated for 12 hours. And its drawbacks is IMA levels raise in non-cardiac ischemia conditions, and the modification in its structure, the N-terminal end, may also we can see in extracellular hypoxia and acidosis also. Here the conclusion, the FDA in 2010 has approved a multi-marker approach for using the combination of the ECG, cardiac troponin I and IMA levels, achieving a sensitivity of 95% for the acute coronary syndrome. Other cardiac biomarker is the hard type fatty acid binding proteins, and it is a very stable, abundant, low molecular weight proteins in the cytoplasm of the myocardial cells and appearing as early as 90 minutes after symptoms onset and peaking within the 6 hours. So its kinetics which make its ideal candidate both for the early assessment and it is useful for the measurement of the recurrent infarctions. Then other cardiac biomarkers is the natriuretic peptides, and in this natriuretic peptide families, 3 types: ANP, BNP and CNP. ANP means alpha atrial natriuretic peptide, BNP means brain natriuretic peptide, and CNP means C-type natriuretic peptide. In natriuretic peptides, ANP is released primarily in response to the atrial wall stretching and intravascular volume expansion, whereas BNP is mainly secreted by the ventricles, and CNP is found predominantly in the brain and also synthesized by the vascular endothelial cells. Here, first one is the BNP. Is originally isolated from the porcine brain and subsequently also isolated from the human heart. Here the circulating level of the BNP are raised in patients with cardiovascular or the renal disease, and more important than the ANP in the heart failure, and its greatest proportion of the circulating BNP is thought to come from the left ventricles. Now the reference values of the BNP. Here the normal level of the anti-pro-BNP is less than 400 nanogram per liter and less than 250 nanogram makes the heart failure highly unlikely. Now the biomarkers of the inflammation prognostic markers and markers of the risk stratifications. First one is the C-reactive protein, second one is the myeloperoxidase, and third one is the homocysteine. Now C-reactive proteins is a acute phase protein which is produced from the liver. It is a pentameric structure consisting of the 523 kilodalton identical subunits, and its plasma level increases rapidly to 10,000 times levels. High sensitivity CRP assays now currently we use to detect any condition, inflammatory conditions, heart tissue, heart damage, myocardial infarctions. Here the CRP, previously known to be a marker of the high risk in the cardiovascular disease. Now the more recent data may implicate that the CRP as an actual mediator of the atherogenesis. Now the mechanism of the CRP mediated atherogenesis means जो CRP जो है वो atherogenesis कैसे करता है वो अपन देखेंगे. तो once the ligand bound CRP can activate the classical complement pathway, उसके बाद it stimulate the phagocytosis, then it binds to the immunoglobulin receptors, then it causes the endothelial dysfunction via increasing the nitric oxide synthesis, which causes the increased LDL deposition and form the plaque. Its clinical uses: screening for the cardiovascular risk and predictive value of CRP levels for disease severity in pre-existing coronary artery disease, an elevated level we can see it is predictive for the long term risk of the first MI and ischemic stroke. Then second important biomarkers for inflammatory condition, here the myeloperoxidase, and MPO is an enzyme that aids white blood cells in destroying the bacteria and viral particles. MPO catalyzes the conversion of the hydrogen peroxide and chloride ions into the hypochlorous acid. MPO is released in response to the infection and inflammation, and its normal levels is 51 to 633 picomole per ml. Here the MPO leads to the oxidized LDL cholesterol, and oxidized LDL is phagocytosed by the macrophages and is form the foam cells. MPO also leads to the vasoconstriction and endothelial dysfunction, and at last it forms the all these steps leads to the formation of the unstable plaque. Then the homocysteine. Homocysteine, we all know that it is an intermediary amino acid formed by the conversion of the methionine to cysteine, and the moderate hyperhomocysteinemia occurs in 5 to 7% of the population, and it is recognized as an independent risk factor for the development of the atherosclerotic vascular disease and venous thrombosis, and it can result from the genetic defects, drugs and vitamin deficiency. Then homocysteines also it leads to directly in vascular injuries like intimal thickening, disruption of the elastic lamina of the arterioles, arterial wall cells, then smooth muscle hypertrophy and platelet aggregations. Vascular injury induced by the leukocyte recruitment, foam cell formation and inhibition of the nitric oxide synthesis. Its normal level is less than 6 micromole per liter. Elevated levels appear to have independent risk factors, though less important than the classical coronary vascular risk factors, and its treatment includes a supplementation with folate, vitamin B6 and vitamin B12. Now the other cardiac biomarkers are also there, but they are not currently used routinely, and they are: first one is the serum amyloid protein A, then CD40 ligands, then cytokines, interleukins 8, 12, 6, then lipoprotein associated phospholipase A2, then pregnancy associated plasma protein A, then oxidized LDL, placental growth factor, then matrix metalloproteinases, monocyte chemotactic proteins, then tissue plasminogen activator antigen and plasminogen activator inhibitor 1, and last one is the secreted platelet granular substances. Okay, thank you for watching this video.